Hello and welcome to The Mouth of Truth, the live stream from behind the scenes of Ren, the girl with the mark. Well, it's all going on here at the moment. Our Indiegogo campaign is now live. It has been absolute chaos here at Ren HQ today as we try to get everything ready. So I apologize in advance for any technical difficulties. Can everyone hear me okay? That's always the first question you have to ask. I see some people are in the chat. Hello to JHGK98, one of our regular viewers. Hello, everyone. Hello, Alphi. Hello, Lunaquin. Hello, Murto Piri. Hello, Elikin. Thank you for joining us so much, and thank you to everyone who has already backed our Indiegogo campaign. It has been live for only just a little bit over an hour, and thank you, Murto. You can hear us, excellent. And we are already at 11% of our goal. So thank you so much. Before we go any further, I am going to bring in our first two guests tonight who are joining us here on the sofa at Ren HQ. Here we go. Hello Ash, and hello Ash.
Yes, where the Ash is.
Not allowed to cricket.
Would you like to introduce yourselves?
Yeah. Oh, well, one of us is Ash. Both of us are Ash. I'm Ashram Maharaj. I'm one of the writers for the show, and I also directed episode 3 or 4 this year.
I'm Ash Finn. I'm also one of the writers for the show, and I'm art director.
Fantastic. Well, thanks for joining me tonight. We haven't done one of these with guests in the studio for a long time, so it's nice to have some people just over there. Although I can't quite reach my arm far enough to get into your shot just yet. But we are here today because we have just launched the crowdfunding campaign to complete Season 3. Season 3 has 5 episodes in it. We filmed 2 of them this summer. We'll be talking a lot about that tonight. But there are 3 more to film. And we're going to film those next spring, all being well, and that all depends on this crowdfunding campaign. Really, that's what it's there to support. Many of you will know we have a Patreon account, and that brings in some finance for us, which is absolutely wonderful. Thank you, marked ones who support us every month, and that paid for those first 2 episodes to be filmed, in fact. But in order to shoot the rest of the season, we do need to do one of these sort of one-off crowdfunding campaigns. So as I say, it was launched at 5 p.m. GMT today, about an hour and a quarter ago. It's already at 11%, just over £2,000 sterling raised out of our £18,000 goal, and we've got till December the 1st to reach that total. So really good start out of the blocks there to get to 11%, and our goal is to get to 30% within the first 24 hours, because that's really where all the algorithms kick in and it pushes you up in the searches and stuff. So everyone head on over to the link which is in the description down below, or go on Indiegogo and search us, check out what we're doing. We've got so many perks. We're going to talk about what all the perks are that we're offering in return for backing. Oh my God, can't wait to get rest of season 3 out, says Alphi. I know the feeling, right? We're definitely keen to crack on with it. Absolutely. Crowdfunding for us is it's a important thing. We're an independent series. We're all volunteers. It's a real community project, and by becoming a backer of our crowdfunding campaign, by supporting us on Indiegogo, you become a little part of that community, really. Not just through the perks and things that we give you, but by the fact that you're part of the family that's helped make the show happen, which is really, really important. We value tremendously everyone that helps. I think the video is a little behind the sound, slightly out of sync. Sorry about that. It does seem to happen every now and then. We've got a lot of things plugged into this poor computer. Hopefully it doesn't. Oh, nope, it's all good now. So, okay, fine. Seems to have caught up. Excellent. Cool. Yeah, I mean, so you guys, what's the importance of, crowdfunding for you on this project?
I mean, the project wouldn't happen without it, I guess is the key thing to say. We really have an amazing story to tell. We really want to tell it. We think there's people out there that really want to see it and get involved and sort of experience the world of Ren that we're building. And without, crowdfunding and donations and Patreons and all the rest of it, it just wouldn't happen. So yeah, it's entirely due to crowdfunding that we can make anything at all. And essential.
Yeah. How would we buy all that polystyrene without it?
How would we buy all of the polystyrene we need to build towns out of?
And all the wood and all the flats and everything.
Yeah, all the wood, theatre flats, paint. Endless quantities of little drill bit heads that get mashed up as we're using impact drivers endlessly. Yeah. How would we pay for all of those essential things? Tea. Where would we be without tea?
Yeah. Tea, coffees, food, catering.
Well, for a start, the show would be called Ren He Girl with He Mark.
Yes. It's a different sort of He-Man feel to it about that.
Hello to Krina Cabano, who's joined us
Krina.
in the chat. Krina's our head makeup artist on season 3.
Thank you very much.
Amazing job. Fantastic job. Okay, so what's coming up on the show tonight? We're going for 2 hours tonight. We're going through to 8 o'clock, so an extra special edition. And we, as well as the two Ashes, we're going to be joined by Sherice Griffiths a little later on, who directed episode 2, episode 302. That's season 3, episode 2. If our numbering system confuses you, we're not on episode 302 just yet. Maybe one day if the crowdfunding goes well. We'll chat to Sherice about filming her episode. We've got some little behind the scenes clips that we're gonna play to give you a little glimpse of what we've been doing so far on season 3. And we're also going to look back at this day 10 years ago, because 10 years ago today we were drawing towards the end of filming season 1 of Red. Could you believe that?
No. That was a different lifetime ago.
Yeah. I mean, for those of you that don't know, the show did have a little hiatus after season 1. Got back off the ground really a couple of years ago. So 10 years ago was really when I met Ash very briefly, Ash Maharaj, once before, but otherwise it was basically when we all met and started off on this journey that's brought us here today.
It's a second family, really, I consider them.
Yeah, definitely. It's a bit of the Ren family, we call it. It's very much the vibe. We'll look back at what we were up to on this day 10 years ago as well, a little later on the stream, which will be fun. Let's start off by having a look at our Indiegogo pitch video, which will tell you what the campaign's all about. Here we go. And I've got to remember now there's an extra click. Here we go.
Ren the Girl with the Mark is an award-winning fantasy web series made entirely by volunteers and released for free on YouTube. I'm Oriana Charles. I play Ren, a young woman who's marked by an ancient, powerful spirit. Get it out of me! And is forced to go on the run with a rogue called Hunter.
We've just started filming season 3.
But we need your help to finish the rest of the season.
Hi, we're on the amazing Helgoth set that Ash and the fantastic art department have built.
So many people have put so much amazing time and effort into this series. We've just started filming and we want to make the rest of the series, but we need your help to do it.
Hi guys, I'm Sherice, the director of episode 302. Please support the Ren crowdfunding campaign because you won't get to see my episode until they've shot the first one, so please give generously.
We've managed to shoot a couple of episodes which are centered around Hunter. I've had my bit. Ori needs her bit as Ren, so we need to get it done. We need your help.
I'm pretty jealous that Alex has got to do his episodes already.
Welcome, Numari.
The end of season 2 saw Ren meeting the Archivist, but who is he, and what does he want?
You are safe here.
Amongst other things, your support will help us hire a location for the Archivist Castle, plus building all of the set and props to fill his mysterious archive. Plus, Ren could do with a new costume. And a bath.
There's going to be some beautiful costumes, some beautiful work from the art department, and we really want to make it happen because we all love Ren so much. We want to keep doing this for a long time.
In return for your support, we have loads of exciting perks, including replica props, behind-the-scenes downloads. You could even get your face in the archive, or come on set and clap the clapperboard. So please join us on Ren's journey and spread the word far and wide. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Hello again. That was our pitch video. That's Oriana Charles and some of the other cast and crew talking about why we crowdfund, basically why this show is why we need your help on this occasion, and we'll always continue to need your help to make an independent series like this. I'm just gonna hand over to Ash and Ash for a minute. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what it was like making episode 2, Sherice's episode, and I'm just going to work away and do a couple of technical things in the background to make sure that Sherice can actually join us here on the stream while you do that.
Ash wants to go for that one.
Yeah.
302, yeah.
I'm trying to think back. So we shot episode 302 and episode 304 earlier in the summer. So it was a few months ago now. About that point in the summer when it got deliriously hot for a delightful few weeks. We had pretty much continuous rain before that. We suddenly hit this point where the sun came out, the temperature went right up, and it was absolutely scorching. So it meant we had really, really lovely weather for shooting in, but it was also quite hot on some days, which made it a bit of a challenge. We also shot the episode slightly out of order, so we shot most of 304 first, which was Ash's episode, and then we moved on to doing Sherice's episode, which was 302 afterwards. So that made some bits of challenge. There was some continuity challenges, trying to remember, whose costume looks like what at which point, and the makeup department and costume department did an absolutely incredible job with that and made sure that everybody looked the way that they're supposed to look, so that the continuity will match together when it's all edited up. So Sherice's episodes, unfortunately, more episodes from Sherice would be wonderful, were mostly shot, it was a mix, wasn't it? So we shot some of it on our shoot location at the studio, in around sort of various bits of forest around the farm where we build all of our sets, and some of it on various locations as well around the country, which was really amazing to go and shoot those on. So quite an adventure, bit of a road trip. Poor old Ross driving a large van through central London was particularly memorable. I'm not sure he's going to forget that for a long time. But we also got to do quite a lot of shooting with the incredible stunt crew, Ronan Trainer's stunt team, which came out to join us in Hampshire for a couple of days for a long shoot, which was really, really fun.
Really looking forward to seeing that.
It's really, really good. Watching them work was just absolutely incredible, and Sherice did an absolutely fantastic job with that, of bringing everybody together, and we really the time was really tight, but everybody was really on it, and it was just really fantastic to shoot that. So really good fun.
Cool. Well, thanks for vamping there for me. Let's see if this works. I think the picture's good. We'll see whether the audio works. Hello, Sherice.
Hey, Neil.
Okay, fantastic. I can hear you. That's a good sign.
Hey,
guys. So I wonder if everyone at home can hear us. Hopefully someone will say in the chat, but I think it's working. So Lunikin says the maps are stunning. They certainly are. We'll talk a bit more about those in a minute. Let's start off, Sherice. How did you get selected to direct an episode of Ren?
So I think it's probably to do with some of my background. A lot of the shorts I've made in the past have been very action focused. I tend to do comedy and action. That's kind of like my vibe. And I've worked with Ronan for a number of years on various short films together, and I've been a big admirer of Ren. I still remember seeing the first season when it came out, and I was just like, wow, this is incredible what you guys have done. It's so amazing. And then obviously there was a bit of a hiatus for a while, and then I came across season two just after you'd launched it, and I saw the behind the scenes and everything like that, and I was just like, wow, it looks just as amazing as season one. So I gave Ronan a little bit of a nudge and was like, look, if there's anywhere I could get on this show, I would, be so delighted. And yeah, so we had a chat, me and you, Neil. And yeah, I think we got on quite well. So yeah, you invited me along, and yeah, the rest is history.
Fantastic. And the script for your episode changed quite a bit, didn't it, from when you first came on board?
It did, yes. So yeah, it started off it was very sort of solo Hunter story for quite a lot of the script, where it was kind of like Hunter was brooding, and he'd just gone through this whole emotional moment in his journey where he'd abandoned Ren, and he was trying to figure himself out, which it was a really nice script, and there was some action in it, and that was really cool. But I think what the script at that point was kind of missing was the sort of the real him earning that journey, and kind of like realizing a few things that maybe he needed, a little bit of help kind of realizing, which obviously we kind of workshopped some ideas for, and yeah, ended up with the script that we have now.
Yeah, because I remember a meeting that we had, the three of us here, and you, and it was like a week. No, I think it was mere days before the cinema premiere of season two. And I'd set this meeting thinking, oh yeah, it'll be done by then, because and of course it wasn't. And so I'd been up 24 hours trying to finish the sound mix for season two, and then jumped on this Zoom call with you guys. And I think that was the call where we it was your suggestion, actually, wasn't it, to introduce the character that ended up getting called Noi?
Yes.
Yeah, do you want to tell us a little bit about Noi?
Yeah, absolutely. So you're dipping in and out a little bit, Neil, so I'm just trying to make sure I capture everything you were saying.
Okay.
But yeah, so Noi started off life as a character who we wanted to kind of have someone to have a conflict with Hunter, someone who could challenge him and sort of make him, kind of communicate and have someone to bounce off of. The role kind of evolved in a way that, for whatever reason, it made our lives a bit more challenging, but I think it made the story more interesting. So Noi is a deaf character who we introduced. She's a young sort of 14-year-old girl who basically her family have been taken by the Kanath, and she is now kind of in the same position that Hunter was in when he lost his family. She's roaming the woods, and she's kind of like unsure how to survive on her own. Comes across Hunter and decides that he's a cool guy to follow, much to Hunter's annoyance, and they end up kind of being forced together in a way. He decides to help her out, and then chaos ensues later. Gets involved, and some cool fights happen.
They certainly do. Yeah, and I should have explained at the start of the stream that the season has these 5 episodes. And the way it's structured, and part of the reason we were able to break it into 2 blocks to shoot, is that 2 of those episodes follow Hunter, and the other 3 follow Ren. So they're off on their separate journeys after they sort of parted ways so shockingly at the end of season 2. So it's the Hunter episodes that we've already filmed, and the Ren ones that we still need to film. You mentioned Noi, played by Lisa Gargarina, I think. I'm probably pronouncing her surname wrong there. But do you want to just talk a bit about her and some of the other new cast in your episode?
Sorry, Neil, I lost you just for a second there. Just one more time, what did you ask?
Asking about the cast the new cast in your episode.
Yeah, so we've got some new faces, which is really exciting. Obviously, we've got Noi, played by Lisa, who was brilliant. She comes from a very strong sort of stage combat background, so for us, it was a really obvious choice in terms of who we wanted for the role, because she brought so much of that skill to that role. Who else have we got? We've got also Max, who was playing Sergeant Kine, who is one of the new Kanath leaders. Pretty evil guy, not in real life, his character. And we've got Noi's adopted grandparents as well, who also were in my episode.
Yeah, Yeah, so some interesting new characters, and then of course we've got returning characters as well. We've got Sol and Tansy from the Smoke and Ember Tavern, last seen at the bridge in season 2, and their fellow prisoner Devi, played by Steph Swan, and the others played by Helen Fullerton and Meg Burley, who came back. What was it like working with them?
Oh, it was amazing. It was absolutely amazing working with them. We had a little bit of rehearsal time for the fights, and that was kind of the first time meeting the guys. But yeah, they all did a brilliant job. What I found really interesting was giving them all different, they had their own different fight styles and things like that. So their role was very physical within my episode. So it was a lot of kind of working out what they needed to do physically with their chosen weapons and things like that. So yeah, no, I think they all did a stellar job.
Mm. Yeah, I think they were so excited about doing the fight scenes, definitely. And yeah, that fight scene was very complicated. Tell us about how you went about sort of breaking that down and planning it, and then working with Ronan to actually film it.
Yeah, of course. So to start with, on the script, I mean, it's not a massive fight scene in the script. It's quite a small, chunk of words on the page. But when it came to it, we crafted quite an elaborate fight scene that now kind of in the edit is around 7 minutes. So it's pretty hefty. There's a lot going on. We've got, different people breaking off into different sections and fighting different people. So there's a lot of moving parts in this fight. Well, more of a battle, I suppose, is kind of the best way to kind of frame it. And it was a very challenging fight to kind of get my head around, because we had to shoot it out of sequence for a start, which made it very complicated. We had to kind of work out each part of the fight on its own. So I kind of went through, I used this cool software called Shot Designer, and I floor planned kind of roughly where everything was going to be. And I put little dots down. It's like, this is going to be here, they're going to move to here, and then they go over here. And that was kind of like my guide for everything, was using the floor plan method, because storyboarding just wouldn't work. It's just too complicated. It just kind of had to be, we're vaguely over here, they're going to go over here. And obviously we had a couple of rehearsal days. Would have been great to have had more time, but obviously everyone's got other commitments, so we were quite limited with that. We had like a full day of like stunt rehearsals with Ronan and his crew. And then after that, it was kind of like on set, we had extra rehearsals, because we had 3 days to cover most of the fight and a few extra scenes as well, which sounds like a lot of time, but it really isn't. Like, the time just flies, especially with things that involve stunts. Everything takes quite a long time. You've got to move the camera, you've got to think about the movement, you've got to get the actors up to speed, and even the camera being slightly off, that can just throw everything for that take. So you have to kind of make sure you've got it. So yeah, it was pretty full on. There was a few instances where we had maybe 1 or 2 takes or something. We had to move on just because of time. So it was chaotic, but it was an amazing experience, and everyone was so on point and so enthusiastic. It was an absolute joy to direct.
Yeah, and it was good fun to shoot as well, sort of getting in there with the action, camera on the shoulder, all that stuff. Always love doing that. And a tabletop RPG planning style, love it, says Lenakin in the chat. Yeah, kind of is. We have a good question here from someone else in the chat, Eelsin, don't quite know how to say that, but they ask, what's it like as a director doing just 1 or 2 episodes in a series?
Sorry, you dropped out for a second then, Neil. Just one more time with the question.
What's it like as a director doing just 1 or 2 episodes in a series?
Well, that's a good question. In a way, it's really nice, because you don't have that overall responsibility to kind of like do the whole season. But yeah, I mean, I'd love to do more episodes. I think it's such a fun series, but it's really nice to kind of get your teeth into, 1 episode and really kind of break it down and kind of go, okay, this is the world of Ren. See what everyone else has done, kind of made their own of it, and kind of see how you can make it your own as well. And yeah, it's really fun, and just so cool to see what everyone else does with it.
And I think your episode in particular is kind of one of the more episodic ones, particularly in this season, because it's got its own little story that kind of wraps up at the end. But it is obviously an important part of Hunter's journey as well. So it's quite a nice mix. Going back to the fight scene, which that was all done on location. Of course, we had like 40 cast and crew those days there. Do you want to talk about that location and the other locations, in fact, used in your episode?
Yeah, sure. So we shot in a place called ILARP, which is a LARPing, I'd say, facility. I mean, I'm not sure what they call it. It's somewhere they go and LARP, which is where you go and do live action role playing. And it was really cool. When we went to the recce, we kind of got there and was like, wow, this is really cool. You've got all of like little houses and huts already kind of pre-built, which is great. Because again, we don't have a huge amount of time. We don't have huge budgets to kind of, erect massive sets and things like that. So a lot of it was set dressing and, bringing it to life in the ways to make it Renified. But yeah, it was a really cool location. And yeah, we had 40 cast and crew on set. It was pretty epic in terms of how many Kanaf soldiers we had sort of running around and killing each other and killing everyone. It was just, yeah, it was pretty epic. And then obviously we shot some of the stuff at the farm, the home of Ren, which is very cool. We found some places that we hadn't managed to shoot before. Got a really lovely field of wheat that we, kind of went through at golden hour and it looked amazing. And yeah, lots of forests. There's a lot of forests in Hunter's episode.
There certainly are. Yeah, and also the nice little cottage up by,
of course, yes,
in the Fenland cottage up near Wisbeach, North Cambridgeshire. Canary cottage, hidden away at the back of a sort of industrial farmyard. That was good fun.
That's a great location as well. It looked amazing. Again, we were only there for a few hours, but it just looked brilliant. And obviously the amazing art department where they're whacking weeds down and erecting clotheslines and things like that. And just the speed at which everyone manages to work is just it's incredible.
Yeah, we do. I think we've got a pretty good team together now. I think pretty slick. So I've got a couple more questions popped up in the chat here for you. Is there a particular fight style you like best? Asks Alfie.
Oh, that's a good one. I mean, it was really fun because everyone had their own kind of fight style within this. So you've got Noi, who's a bit sort of rough and ready and sort of fights with a slingshot. And then we had Hunter, who's very sort of gung-ho, sort of a bit piratey, I guess, in the way that he's kind of like swashbuckling. And Hansi and Debbie, who, one of them's got a bow and one of them is, more with a hammer. So it was really fun just playing with the different styles of the characters. It's not like, a Kung Fu movie. It's everyone kind of having learned how to fight in this world from, necessity, I suppose. So it was kind of looking at it in a way that not everyone's very polished with their weapons and it's kind of like they're all figuring it out as they go. And that just made it quite an interesting experience, just, in terms of the blocking and the rehearsals. Everyone was like trying to get everything perfect, and it was like, okay, but actually this character wouldn't be perfect. It's not like Katniss Everdeen with the bow and arrow. It's like, okay, she's had to learn how to do this herself. She's, perhaps not experienced as, a Katniss Everdeen character, but it's looking at ways to kind of, show the character having some cool moments, but also being realistic to the story and authentic with the story, to the world as well. So yeah, I mean, I couldn't pick one fight style that was like the best. I think for me, I just love everything where it's lots of punching and kicking and stuff like that, where it's a bit sort of more raw and rough and ready. Yeah, hopefully that answers your question.
Cool. And Eulsin says, what do you look for in the recce?
Oh, what do we look for in a recce? I guess a lot of it was looking at trees. I'm not going to lie. There was a lot of which tree looks best in terms of like the most cinematic angle to kind of capture this tree. We spent a lot of time going, maybe that one. No, let's go back to that other tree. So there was a lot of that. But yeah, when we went to ILAP, it was kind of like, it was so obvious. It was like, right, this is perfect. It's kind of all here for us. Obviously, it's never going to be perfect. It's, you're kind of like, oh, I wish this hut was over here, or I wish we had an extra thing here. But it's all kind of like, kind of knowing what the art department can bring to it and kind of go, okay, they can dress this to make this part look great. Maybe we won't show this part. And yeah, it's just kind of looking at it through those eyes of what could this be and what the potential is, rather than just going, okay, yeah, that will be fine. So yeah, that sort of thing.
And a fun bit of trivia actually is that location at ILARP was somewhere that Kate and I looked at last year as a possible location for the horse chase, because it was one of the few places where they didn't bat an eyelid when we said, could we bring horses and have them sort of charging through amongst the trees. But we didn't use it last year in the end because it was a bit too far to transport the horses, but it was the perfect place to do your episode. Yeah, it was great. And the trees there are just they're proper big, proper old forest, and it looks really nice. Lunaquin saying, do fighters take many bumps and hard landings needing crash mats?
Sorry, one more time with that one, Neil. I heard half of that.
Sorry. Do fighters take many bumps and hard landings needing crash mats?
Yeah, I mean, having watched them, I know some people prefer having the crash mats and things like that, and some can just do it. So, I mean, it really depends on the particular stunt person. We definitely put our stunt people through their paces, more so than the actors. Obviously, with the actors, we've got to be a bit more careful just because, they've got to act in other scenes and things like that. The stunt people were all very, very professional. I don't think anyone really got hurt. No one really got hurt. That doesn't sound great. No one got hurt.
Yeah, and there was one minor cut or something that I think Ash had to patch up, or something on an ankle or something. But yeah.
Yeah, and all the weapons are all rubber, and it's all very safe. And I mean, the speed in which they're moving stuff. I think maybe occasional. You might get poked with a plastic sword, but beyond that, I think everyone was all good.
Yeah, we're very safe on Ren. Safety first, definitely.
Absolutely.
I think that's all the questions. Oh, how did you get into directing? Alpha is asking. Ooh. That's a good one.
Oh, that's a good question. I guess since I was little, I just wanted to make films. So when I was like 8 years old, my nan had like an old camcorder, and I just used to make little films on that. And yeah, that was kind of what really made me kind of interested in films and filmmaking. It's kind of spanned from that, obviously, kind of to make short films and things like that now. But I went to university and studied film, learned all about the history of film, which is probably not the most helpful way to learn about filmmaking, but it's part of the journey. It's just always been something I've wanted to do, and keep on going.
Fantastic. I actually started out in a similar way, borrowing my granddad's camcorder when I was a teenager. That's how I started making amateur films.
Nice.
Lunaquin saying, where do you source horses and riders? Well, we went to equestrian stunt shows last year. They provided all our horses and riders, and sort of choreographed everything for us, and a fantastic job they made of that as well. I'm sure hopefully we'll work with horses again in the future, but not too often, because it is very complicated. The 2 episodes that we filmed of season 3, we wrapped them a couple of months ago now, so we are well into the editing process. How's that going so far with your episode, Sherice? What's been your process?
The editing's going really well. The first thing to do with my episode was kind of assemble the story, and then it got into sort of like the nitty-gritty part of editing the action sequences. So I've done that with Ronin Trainer, who obviously choreographed a lot of the fights and stuff, but all of the fights. So we sat together and we kind of went through the best takes, which is a process. There's a lot of back and forth going, is that the best take? Is that the best take? Based on like even the smallest thing. It's like, is the angle of the punch, quite right? And it's like looking at the tiniest little details like that, and just making sure that every hit looks authentic, and the fights just look as good as they can. So we've done all of that. We've kind of locked in the fight stuff now. So I think we're kind of into the sort of the final polishing stages now, and then we've got all of the fun stuff like the visual effects, the sound, the colour grading, all of that stuff to come. So very excited to see it all come together.
Fantastic. And of course these 2 episodes will not be released until the rest of the season has been filmed. So if you're keen to see them, you know where the link is down in the description. Go head over there and back our Indiegogo campaign. Sherice, have you got a message for any potential backers?
I would say, donate generously. The 2 episodes we've shot and made so far look pretty amazing, so I can't wait to see what the guys do with the remaining episodes. And they really, really need to make it, because otherwise our episodes are going to sit there gathering dust, waiting and waiting. So do something about it now, and let's get this whole season shot. Let's do it.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much, Sherice, for joining us this evening. We've got We've got time for one more question that's just popped in. Well, you kind of covered this earlier. I asked about why or how you got selected to direct an episode. Alphi is saying, why did you decide to join Ren?
Why? Okay. Well, yeah, like I said before, it was kind of, I followed Ren from the first season, and there was a big hiatus, and then there was a big boom for season 2, and I just saw it and I thought, wow, you guys are at it again and it looks amazing. From what I've seen, you guys have just done amazing work on this, and it's just something that I really wanted to be a part of. And with my background in stunts and working on action stuff, fantasy is kind of close to action, and obviously there's a lot of action in my episodes. So yeah, I just really wanted to, come along and see if I could craft an episode that, was a bit of me, and be part of the Ren universe, really.
Fantastic. I've just thought of something else actually that I meant to ask you, which is you've had a couple of your other projects get into festivals recently, haven't you?
I have, yes. Yes, so I've had so I've got a short film called The Friendship of Fish, that just played at the Buff Film Festival up in Manchester. So I was up there for a couple of weeks ago now. Had a couple of BIFA selections as well. So we've played at Sunderland. We're playing at another festival called the Giggle Fest, some funny live film festival. But yeah, you're doing pretty well in terms of the comedy circuit. So yeah,
congratulations. And what's next for you, directing wise?
What's next? So I've just written a new short film, so I'm hoping to try and get some money together and hopefully make that next year. I'm also shooting next week a short zombie movie in a school, so that's crept up fast actually. So that's Wednesday, Thursday next week. A bunch of kids and loads of zombies. So yeah.
Oh, that sounds like really good fun.
Yeah, it should be cool.
Cool. Well, all the very best with that, Sherice. And we look forward to seeing your episode.
Cool. Thanks, Neil. Take care, guys. Good to see you all.
Yeah, take care, and good night, Sherice. Well, that was Sherice Griffiths, director of episode 302. And we will now just have a little glimpse of some behind-the-scenes footage from that episode. So let me just go here.
Hey, so we're with Costume Makeup. I'm with Alex, who's playing Hunter, and Lisa, who is playing Noi. And so we're just waiting to start the shoot. So we're doing just double checking your costume, double checking your makeup.
More makeup.
Do you feel ready?
Yeah, I feel almost ready. We had to do some like makeup changes and stuff, but we're on the way. We've got to do little tweaks. Once we get the tweaks done, we're good to go. So yeah. I think we're near that time.
Can you show us your makeup and hair? Because it looks really cool.
I became less dirty. I had so much dirt on my face, but I became less dirty, which is probably cool.
Can you give us a spin? I want to see the sides. They're really cool. Yeah. Almost Viking-like. We're currently rehearsing a shot. So you got Billy there with the smoke machine ready to go. We've got a bounce board for the light. We've got a camera. We've got Hunter, our actor, who is there, and Hans, who is preparing the chicken/pigeon. And in there we've got costume, I can't point, dressing Noi, one of our actresses. And then over here we've got camera and more costume. So we're currently starting a night shoot. So do you want to explain to us what we're doing?
Yes, so if you pivot with me, pivot. Behind me, we are building a big old fire here, and we've got our actors sitting in front of it. And this is basically a very important scene in our story. But I'm not going to tell you what it's about, so you'll have to wait and see.
No spoilers.
Now we've got some big fight scenes coming up, so it's all very exciting. And we're here today in a Kanaf camp, which is being steadily built behind me and around me.
So if you go straight for the second.
so far it's been going brilliantly, and I'm sure we're going for, we're going to have a brilliant day today as well, weather pending, but we'll see.
Action!
I mean, it's changed slightly. We've kind of added more stunts, if anything, so it's got a little bit more action packed.
Love that.
So it's going to be, it's going to be very exhilarating.
Yeah.
Action!
There you go. That was a little glimpse behind the scenes of episode 2 or episode 302, whatever you want to call it. S3E2. Always unsure what the least confusing way to say that is, but there you go. Season 3, episode 2. And in fact, that footage is all taken from the video blogs that the cast and crew recorded. So those of you that have been following the show from the beginning may remember we did daily diaries back on season 1. In fact, we're going to show one of those a bit later on. And we've done a similar thing with season 3 episodes 2 and 4. Is each day, not quite every day, but most days, we got a different member of the cast or crew to video blog and to just talk about what it was like filming that day on Ren from their particular perspective. That's some glimpses of the footage you've seen there. If you want to see the whole thing, they are part of the download package. So the £50 perk and above includes season 1 to 3 downloads and extra features, including those video blogs. So that's the way to have a look at those. I noticed JHGK98 earlier on asked, will there be a 5 months in Caxton style documentary? That was the sort of hour-long documentary that we made for season 1. The answer is I'd love to, but it's just finding the time. And then, because that was a project all of its own to make that documentary. And I know that a lot of people watching tonight, I'm sure, will really love the behind-the-scenes stuff. But we found a lot of our audience, they're not so bothered. They just want to watch the show. We're constantly sort of evaluating, how much behind-the-scenes stuff is worth spending our time on, because we love it, and we know probably you guys watching this love it. It's not for everyone. We know that. So there's some chicken chat going on. I see that. Alfie was asking, did Alex cook the chicken on that fire? And Alex, who has joined us in the chat, hello to Alexander Hackett, who plays Hunter, of course, says, I definitely did cook the chicken to perfection, and I won't have anyone say anything otherwise. I hope that someone ate it to prove that right. And wishing us best of luck with the rest of the stream. Thank you, Alex.
Thanks, Alex.
And showing the love. Let's get season 3 done indeed. Double tap, 1 arrow, 1 club. Keep those Kanath out. Of course, yes. Reference to Devi, Steph Swan's character, firing arrows there in the behind the scenes footage. And I see we're up to 13% now. We've got 22 backers. Thank you, 22 wonderful people. £2,353 sterling of our £18,000 goal. That is brilliant. A couple of things I want to say about Indiegogo actually is one person has said that they tried to back and it was kind of just saying pending for ages and they couldn't seem to make the payment. Don't know if that's a one-off thing. If anyone else is having that same problem, maybe let us know in the chat to see if it's some problem that we need to solve, or whether it's just a one-off thing for that particular person. Another thing is when you back, you will see it's going to add an Indiegogo tip automatically. Just to clarify, that tip goes entirely to Indiegogo. None of that goes to us. So it's up to you whether you want to add that or not, but just bear in mind that none of that Indiegogo tip goes to us, the creators. It does all go to Indiegogo, the platform. Unlike Kickstarter, by the way, another thing to note is that you will get charged as soon as you back. It's not like you pledge and then at the end of the campaign your card gets charged. you will get charged straight away. This is a flexible campaign. It's keep what you earn. So whether or not we get to 18,000 at the end of the month, we will get to keep it all. But we really want to get to 18,000 because that is the amount we need, the minimum amount and indeed above 18,000. That is the minimum amount we need to film the remaining 3 episodes if we want to do them next spring, which we really do. So we are now going to talk about perks. We're going to talk about Indiegogo perks. What are we offering you in return for backing this wonderful show? Well, at the first level, which is £5 sterling, and of course if you're in a country with a different currency, you will see different amounts when you back. But I'm gonna say them all in pounds because that's where we are and that's how we set them up. But you can back in your own currency, absolutely. At the £5 level, you will get an Instagram shout out. So we will give you a thank you and a mention on Instagram, and we'll be every few days we'll be sending out emails to new backers to get your Instagram handles to do that. And you'll also get a desktop and mobile wallpaper download, a little Ren poster download as a thank you. That's the £5 level. Going up to £15, at the £15 level, this is the Season 3 downloads. So you get to download ad-free and in full HD quality all 5 episodes of Season 3 when they're released. In fact, a little before they're released, you'll get them before everyone else. And that should be, fingers crossed, all being well, at the end of next year, if all goes to plan. Obviously, not everything goes to plan in the world of filmmaking. Sometimes there are unavoidable delays, so we will absolutely try our best. That is definitely the intended timeline to get the season finished by the end of next year. And you also get, along with those downloads, you get the Instagram shout out and the wallpaper from the lower level. The next perk level is £50, and for £50 you get a ticket to the premiere and downloads of all 3 seasons with bonus content plus the Instagram shout out plus the wallpaper. So all 3 seasons you'll get to download. Seasons 1 and 2 we will send you in December when the campaign's finished. They're already done, of course. You'll get to download them. You can watch them without the irritating YouTube ads whenever you want in full quality. You'll also get bonus content, including all the daily diaries from season 1, the director's creator commentaries, I should say, and deleted scenes. And for season 3, you will get these video blogs that I've been talking about as well. And some of those we'll be sending out fairly soon, the ones that are already done, and then we'll be recording some new ones when we film the other 3 episodes in spring of next year. So that's a really unique way to see behind the scenes from the perspective of different people. And we haven't just gone for, Alex, who plays Hunter, has done one. But also people like Dale, who's the sound recordist on the show. People never talk about recording sound for film and TV, but it's a really interesting aspect of it. He's got a video blog. We've got one about the art department, which Ash Finn, of course, recorded. Did you have fun recording your?
I did have fun doing it. Thankfully, we did it on the first day, which was great because I don't know that I would have been awake enough to do it at any other point in the shoot, but. No, it was really good fun. It was a good opportunity for us to share some of the little things that we were doing and getting up to that you wouldn't otherwise see from the other side of the camera. So yeah, it was really good fun. And I think there's even some dancing.
There is a little bit of dancing. In fact, I had
feast your eyes on that.
I really enjoyed watching them as well because often things were filmed that I wasn't present for. I was elsewhere. I was on set or off set, and vice versa. So yeah, for me it was interesting to see what goes on. Like when we're all set up with the camera out on the field ready to film, and you wonder what's going on back in the studio. Why aren't the cast here? It's because they're recording a video blog in the makeup room.
Or they're running through the set and posting it on Facebook.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Still don't know what that was about. Some sort of TikTok trend, I think. But yes, so that's the £50 level. You get a ticket to the premiere. Again, that should be end of next year. So you get to meet all the cast and crew as well at the premiere, which would be fantastic. That'll be, we don't know the date of it yet. It probably will be in Cambridge. And if you can't make it because you're in another country or you're just busy that day, we will try and give you an equivalent experience, record you a video message or stream it or something like that, so you kind of feel like you've been there. And of course you will still get all those downloads. The next level, and I think this is the most fun one, it's the one that we've been putting a lot of effort into planning and designing and making over the last month or so. This is the physical package. This is the Alathian Traveller's Kit at £100. And we actually have one here.
We do have one, yes.
Yes. Do you want to talk us through it, Ash?
So the Alathia's Traveller's Kit has everything that you might need to successfully travel through Ren's world of Alathia. So it will come in a lovely little bag like this. It has in it, take all the things out. It's like a fancy unboxing. I've done this before. It's very exciting.
You like any gloves?
Yeah, it's like a lucky dip. Yeah, I know what's in it, so it's not really. So the first thing you'll get is one of these. Can you see that? A little bit closer to the camera. Which is a coin from the world of Ren. This one is known as a boar, which is the particular denomination. So all the coins in the Ren world are named after animals. So this is the boar coin, and this is worth about half a basket of laundry or loaf of bread. Did we say? Yeah, something like that. So it won't get you far, but it will get you some bread when you need it, and we all know that's very important in the world of Ren. So you'll get a real metal coin. You'll also get one of these, which you'll recognise from season 2, is a token which will gain you access to the Heretics Market. So yeah, keep it out of sight of the Kanath, but this is what you will need to find your way into the secret entrance to the Heretics Market when you arrive at the Elder Hill Ruins. So you get one of these as well.
Hold that little
oh, did I? Is that close enough? Is that in focus? Yeah. There we are.
It's also not edible.
It's not edible. It looks like a biscuit, but it's not a biscuit. Please do not eat it. But the original in the series is made out of wax, so that you could easily, if you're caught with it by the Kanath, you could throw it into a fire and get rid of it really quickly. But this one is not. It's slightly more durable than that, which is good. So we've also got. Don't put it on a fire. We also don't do anything with it. Keep it forever. That's what we're recommending. So you'll also get this, which is the an Alathian Traveller's Guide, and this is specifically for South Phalaxia, which is the region of the country of Alathia in which Ren is currently living and travelling. So this is a guidebook written by a legendary traveller within the world of Alathia, and he has recounted some of his adventures travelling through the world of Alathia. So it's a fictionalised traveller's story. It contains some drawings. Am I holding this at the right level? No, somewhere like that. There we go. You can tell I've done this before, can't you? It contains some of his sketches of the world of Alathia, some of his experiences, and some detailed maps of the landscape. So you can dive a little bit more deeply into the world of Ren and follow along with Ren on her adventures. Yeah. Also with the Traveller's Kit, you will get a map. I'm hoping that you can see this.
Why don't you hold it up?
Should I hold it up? Yeah, okay. You'll have to help me, Ash. I'll hold one end and you hold the other end. Pebbles not included. No, they're just for weights. You can get your own pebbles. So this is a copy of the map that you'll receive. So it comes at sort of poster size, so you can put it up on your wall if you want, but otherwise you can keep it with your Traveller's Kit. And you can use this to track Ren's journey through the course of seasons 1 and 2, and eventually season 3 as well, as she makes her way across the region of South Phalaxia. And you will notice that this the place names on the map are obviously in Alathian runes. And if you so choose, and I think you should choose to do so, there's a little sneaky guide in the back of this book that will tell you how to translate those runes, so you can work out what the place names are that Ren visits in her travels. So,
you want to hold that a little bit closer?
Nope. No. It's obviously a very wide lens. There we go. Oh, close. Is that right? All right. There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's also the map you saw in episode 2 in season 2.
It is, yes. Yes. So this is a copy of the commander's military map that he is looking at when he's
tracing the steps and
tracking Ren and sending his forces out after the fugitive Ren and Hunter in episode 2 of season 2. So you can have your own copy of it. So also in the Traveller's Kit, you also receive a copy of the game of Doleg, which again, there's so many things on this table, which comes with a handmade game board like this, as well as all the pieces and dice that you will need to play the game, and most importantly the instructions, so there's no arguing about how to play. And this is a fully playable game invented by Chris Dane. You'll see it played in season 1 of Ren, and you might spot it showing up in other places in other episodes as well. It's very popular in the world of Ren, and lots of people are playing it. So Doleg means the game of money in language of Alathia.
Just slide that towards other Ash a bit, just so that it'll be a bit more visible. Yeah,
there we go.
We'll show you, we're gonna have a game of this a little bit later on the stream, so we'll show you it properly. But
so this is
really cool little thing.
Game of Money and key instructions. These are the instructions that you will need to play as well. So you can take part and really live in the world of Ren.
You absolutely can. That is the Alathian Traveller's Kit at £100, and we are aiming to get those shipped out. If you're in the UK, we're going to aim to get those shipped out by the last posting date. So make a great little Christmas present for a fantasy fan. Really nice little present. And I mean, pretty much all those things actually, because with the exception of the guidebook, they're all basically replicas of props from the show. And you pretty much designed them all, didn't you?
Yes, more or less.
Actually, the design for the game came from Christopher Dane, co-creator of the series originally. But you had to make it at quite short notice.
I did, yes. Chris came up with the design for the game and all the complicated bit, which was how it would actually function as a real playable game. And gave me some instructions sort of scribbled on the back of an envelope and said, we're shooting this tomorrow, can you go away and make it? So that was back in season 1. So it was actually the original game board that you see in season 1 was actually used a soldering iron to burn it into a piece of leather. The only piece of leather we had was actually a piece of costume. So it was an apron that an extra had been wearing that I pulled straight off them and used to turn into something else. So nothing's ever wasted on the set of Ren.
Amazing. And so that's the £100 level, and we'll talk a bit more about that. And in fact, we'll talk a bit more about the day that game was first filmed on Ren in just a second. But just go through the rest of the perks here. So £100, you get the Alathian Traveller's Kit that we've just seen, plus 2 tickets to the premiere now, plus all the other downloads and stuff from the lower levels. So that's a really big package of stuff there. And by the way, if you are a paid Patreon member, you can get a discount on that package. You will see a post on our Patreon page with a link through to claim that. The next perk level is at £350, and at that level you will get your face in the archive. So we know that Ren's spent season 2 trying to find the archivist. At the end of the season, of course, she did find Thomas Featherwell Rye, the archivist, and we have some major scenes in season 3 set in the archive itself. It's going to be a very, very cool set. It's already stressing poor Ash out quite a lot.
Palms are sweating.
Thinking about all the things that are required for it. But yeah, one of the things we're going to put in it are your faces if you back at this level. Plus, of course, you get all the stuff from the lower levels as well. Because what sort of stuff's going to be in the archive? Just briefly.
Ooh, no. It's how much of this I can talk about without it being spoilers, I guess, is the question. But there will be a lot of aspects of the history of Alathia, the history of Ren's world will be on display in the archives. So this perk is an amazing way for you to kind of become part of Ren's history and really be there visibly as part of that world. So there'll be potentially things like paintings, there'll be drawings, there might be things like manuscripts, And any of those we can use to really bring you into Ren's history. So it's quite exciting.
Fantastic. So that's £350, your Face in the Archive set. The next level is at £1,000, and that is the featured extra experience. So we will give you a featured extra role in one of the remaining episodes of season 3. You get to come down to the set for a day and play a background character, but you will be featured. And there's interesting opportunities given the crowd scenes in this episode to really become part of the mythos of Ren. That's actually really cool. Yeah. So that will be a really fantastic experience for anyone who backs at that level. Featured extra experience at £1,000. Plus, you get all the downloads, 2 tickets to the premiere, and an Alathian Traveller's Kit as well. And the final level at £1,500 is the executive producer level. So you will get a credit in the opening titles, in the opening title sequence of one episode of the series as executive producer. Very exclusive thing. You'll get the corresponding IMDb credit as well. And you'll get an open invitation to visit the set, so you can come along anytime. We'll give you an opportunity to clap the clapperboard, which is one of the coolest things to do on the set. Or maybe the director will even let you call action if you're really nice at one times, which is a really good fun thing to do. Yeah. The important thing is not to jump the gun and do it before the camera's rolling. But we'll teach you how to do it. It's very cool. Very cool. You'll be able to come to the rehearsals, the read-throughs, the rap party, all that kind of stuff. And, of course, the premiere. You'll get your 2 premiere tickets, all the downloads, your Alathian Traveller's Kit as well. So executive producer, really there for our top-level fans who really, really want to help us out. For anyone who backs us at any level, we are tremendously grateful. And you can, of course, choose not to just to give a contribution and not give any perk as well. That's entirely up to you. But we have got some pretty cool stuff on offer, I think. Let us going back to the Dole game and the day that was first filmed. Let us look at what we were up to this day 10 years ago.
Turn back the clock.
Let's see what was going on the Ren set.
I am Duran Fulton Brown. I play Hunter. Hunter is the conflicted, mischievous rogue of the series. And today we're in the lovely built set. This is the Guard's Tavern, let's say, which is adorned with swords, chains, manacles, all forms of torture. This has been an amazing day. We've been filming. Lots of beautiful little moments have been happening.
Slate 489, take 2.
My friend at the moment.
Oh yeah, the back of, Squish's back is just on the edge of frame.
To here, I'm afraid.
Yeah, you can even be closer than that. And action.
I reckon you've been stealing my balls. You've been cheating.
Who's winning? So it's been an interesting day. Probably one of my favourite on set. There's been lots of little nuances and moments that's really shown Hunter as a character. I think these moments of stillness when a character is on their own and the choices and decisions they make really shows their internal workings. So today has been an especially good one for me.
Should we try it where you guys are arguing a bit more?
Yeah. If you want more argument, then we'll just lean in a bit more.
Yeah, action.
No, I've already taken 2 of your pieces. And I'm 2 balls down, and I don't know why. Hi, I'm Richard Roberts. I'm gaffer and steadicam op on Ren. And today, instead of being on crew and generally getting in the way of everyone, I've been seconded onto the acting side, and I'm playing one of Hunter's jailers. It's been a fun day. I've had my head smacked in this barrel more times than I can count.
Everyone alright?
A little too violent on that, sorry.
I've also had some keys stolen from me, and my jailer number 2
kept stealing coins from me and cheating terribly when we've been playing this game, which is a game specifically made for Ren. I've no idea what it's called. We've been calling it either Hoverboard or Canafter.
There you go. That's what we were up to on this day, November the 2nd, 2014. Crazy space year, 2014.
That was a really fun day.
Oh, it was an amazing day, yeah.
Also because it was Richard and Ivan who had that back and forth, and it was all mostly improv.
Oh yeah,
so
they
just really
just
fun.
it was
Just
so
went out
good.
and did it.
Yeah, we're absolutely wonderful. It was really, really good.
And we're still trying to figure out how to get Richard back.
Yeah.
So we had Ivan back, just trying to figure out how to get Richard back.
Yeah, you'll notice Ivan, who was the jailer in that sequence, appears again in season 2 under punishment for letting Hunter escape. He has to pull the prison wagon. So
yeah.
Ivan's absolutely fantastic actor, and we're really lucky to have him. He did a brilliant job.
Yeah. I was brilliant, and that was kind of the start of his sort of supporting artist career in film and TV. I think he's worked on some quite interesting stuff since then, which is great. And we got him back on that bridge in Wales at night for season 2. Yeah. So yes, well done. Eilson, wow, is that the guy who was pulling the cart? Yes. Indeed it was. Indeed it was. Yeah.
Little Easter egg.
And that guard room set was Ren's bedroom before, wasn't it?
It was, yes. Yeah, we had to redress that quite quickly. We spent a really long time dressing it for Ren's bedroom. Not a long time, an appropriate amount of time. And then we had to turn it around really quickly. It wasn't quite overnight, but it felt like it, to do the guards room a couple of days later for shooting. So completely paint job, stripped everything out, redress the whole thing, and make it look really dark and dingy from where it could be lovely and homely for Ren's bedroom. So that was fun to do that. That was fun.
And I think that was when we were you were doing that when we were filming in Kansas, right?
Yes, I think we were. Yeah, which was on the part of the factory. We shot in a not abandoned factory, but a disused factory, and it had big sort of warehouse spaces behind, and there were two adjacent to each other. And the Khan's house set and the prison set were in one half, and then Ren's house was in the other half behind a wall. So there was quite a lot of, listening out to hear them shout action, and then you wait hammering, and then it cut, and then you're bam, 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 making a ton of noise again. So lots of collaborative working to try not ruin each other's days.
It was funny because I was doing sound on that too.
You were, weren't you? Yeah. You were shooting sound on that day. How was that?
That was fun. That was fun. It was fun. It was actually funny as well when you yell "cut" and then you hear bang, bang, bang. All the silence, and then you suddenly hear that. Funny.
Yeah.
And you had to make the game at the last minute.
Yeah. You had to make the game at the last minute. Yeah. Which I did, and it was really good fun. And
it didn't have a name back then.
It didn't have a name back then, no. And Chris had left me some instructions, which I hadn't read properly, which is entirely my fault. So I just copied the picture he did for me, and then I sat down with Richard and Ivan, who were playing the jailers, and they said, right, okay, we're going to shoot the scene. Tell us how this game works. And I went... So you'll see a lot of confusion in the scene as to how it's actually, whether or not anybody's cheating, and the answer is nobody at that point knew, because unfortunately Chris wasn't there that day, so he couldn't clarify for us. But I think that really adds to the authenticity of the guards in that scene.
So that, I think that was probably one of the last. I think that was one of our last interior scenes. So we just come to the end of. Yeah, we sort of did all the exteriors, and we did the interior stuff, and then we sort of went back outside and picked up some bits. And
did we shoot the prison after that, or was it?
The prison was before that.
Prison was before that.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think something like November 10th or 11th we wrapped. So we're about this point, 10 years ago, we're about a week away, just over a week away from wrapping the first season. Yeah. If you can believe that.
Feels like 5 minutes and 100 years at the same time.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel so long ago, but yeah, it is long. So, yeah.
Right. Okay. Well, now has come the time to put this game to the test and give it a go.
Yeah.
So I guess the first thing you need to do is choose a colour. Who's going to be red? Who's going to be?
Have we got the board where the camera can see it?
You know what? I'm gonna do a very seamless camera.
Okay. Move any of this.
I'll go with red.
Any of these snacks and junk. You're gonna be red, are you?
You can see that.
All right.
Go on.
Okay. So we've got 12 coloured tokens.
Yeah.
Each hand.
Each get a die or both?
Two dice. Two dice which have sort of unique symbols on. So one dice has letters in the runic alphabet and an eye, and the other dice has numbers and a shape of a mouth. So that's the eye of justice and the mouth of truth, and they are on the board. They're ready to go.
Cool.
Right.
Cool.
Go on, Neil. Tell us how
to play this game.
Okay, so it's a betting game basically. You know, if you want to play it, we don't recommend you play it for money. But in the world of Ren, you'd probably agree beforehand how much each of those little chips represents. Could be a horse for the faint of heart. It could be an eagle if you're rolling in it.
Sweets, I think.
It could be squashes. Yeah. And then the first player is the one who most recently got disciplined for gambling while on duty.
Well, that was me. Definitely me.
Not me.
No, there you go.
Okay. Well, I'm saying it's going to be Maharaj.
By the way, this is a glimpse of how we actually play games. Neil is usually the games master, and we just go through.
We just struggle through it and then read the rule book and discover we've got it all wrong. So Ashram, you're going to be the roller for the first round. Okay. So first, you're going to roll the letter die, which is one that's got the I symbol and the thing that looks like an H and a B and a Z.
Yep. Is that the I?
Yes, that's correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
I'll roll that one. It's got some sort of symbol.
Yeah. Well, I don't think we've worked out how you pronounce any of these runes. So it's
like a loop.
Yeah, it's got a certain symbol. Okay, so then place that die at the top of the matching column, the top of the board.
Yes,
Yeah, just put it at the top of the column. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the live column for this round out of the 5 columns. I'm just gonna. Okay, my audio might go a bit rubbish now because I'm just gonna transition to a closer view so you can see this a little bit better. So the next step is for the other player, to place bets. So you're going to take 2 of your counters, and you've got to place one of your bets in the live column and one somewhere else on the board. And because you're the blue player, is it blue or green?
Green. Yeah.
Green. Well, you're going to use the lower left triangle.
Okay.
The square you pick.
So I'm going to go in the live column, and I'm feeling 3 is a good number. So I'm going to go there, and I'm going to pick the E column and go there.
Okay. And then other Ash places 2 bets according to the same rules. You can't go in the same square.
Okay. So it could be anything along this line then, first.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go there.
It's a little bit random at the start, but as the board fills up, this gets more interesting. Okay, and then the roller, which was Ash M, now rolls the number die, which is the other one.
Is that one?
Oh, you've got the mouth.
Okay, the mouth. So that means that the roller wins automatically.
What?
So Ash M takes all the counters in the live column for their own. Just in the live column. Yeah, just the counters.
Yes.
So whether they're your counters or not your counters, you take them all in the live column.
Okay.
Cool. Now, normally, if the mouth hadn't been rolled, it would have indicated one of the rows, and if the roller had, or whoever has a bet on that row in the live column would have been the winner. Okay, and blah blah blah. Let me just check this. If the winning square, blah 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 blah. I've got to check these rules myself. Wins automatically. It skips. Okay, so. Yep, so now the roller switches places, so now it'll be Ash Finn.
So we leave our current bets on the board?
You leave your current bets on the board and go on to the next round. So you roll the letter die to find a live column.
So that's C, the equivalent of the letter C.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put mine there on 2.
So it's Ash M will place bets first.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, it's the person who's not the roller.
That makes sense, yeah. Are you that side of the column?
Okay,
yes, you always have the upper right now.
So now that we're out of the first round,
I didn't.
Now that we're out of the first round, I'll just turn my mic back on. There are a couple of other things you can do when you're placing your bets. You can double one of your own bets, so you can put another counter on top of one of your existing ones. You can also match someone else's bet, so you can go in the triangle opposite someone else. And if they already had 2 or 3 counters there, you would have to put 2 or 3 counters to match them. That's the only case where you can put more than one counter down at once. But as before, your first bet has to be in the live column.
Okay.
And your second bet has to be somewhere else on the board, not in the live column.
So do I make my first and then you make your second?
No,
Ash makes 2. I'm just desperate to play. I'm going to put my pieces down.
Actually, no, it needs to go left.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, you're that one. No, wait.
Isn't it to be the leftmost one? Or
No, I'm bottom left. It's the opposite way to the way we're sitting. Yeah.
Okay.
Luna's asking, do we use existing runic forms?
Ooh, what a great question.
And the answer to that is we created our own runes. I think possibly James Ewing, who was the concept artist on season 1, came up with the original runic alphabet for Ren. GM flashbacks. Seat of the pants play style, always best. Yep. Cool.
Right, so we've got.
That's a 4.
4.
Oh no, it's not in the right. So this is the winning square. Oh, so somehow you've managed to. I was going to say luck in, but I'm sure it was superior tactics. You've got a double bid on that one.
So the player with the greatest number of counters in the winning square, which would be Ash M, takes all their counters in the live column themselves. Well, they've only got their own counters.
So that's me. Okay, so.
Yeah. Oh no, because I should have bet in that column, shouldn't I?
Oh yeah.
So I didn't. So I bet in that column, but should have been in this column. So you get to take that as well. Not to hand you a victory or anything, but
yes.
Let's not start out with cheating.
No.
Yeah. And in addition, the losing player now has to make up the deficit, which is the difference between the number of counters the winning player had in the winning square and the number the losing
so
player
I owe you
had.
another one.
2, so
there you go.
Yeah, because you had 1 of mine and 2 of yours. So
I'm rich.
I'm doing very badly at this game.
There you go. And the loser has to pay out of counters they've captured from the other player if they can. If not,
I cannot, because I have not yet won anything.
There you go. Okay, you got the hang of it now. We go on to the next round. The roller switches back.
Okay. Yep.
I guess. Right. So I guess I roll.
Yes.
Yeah.
To choose a new column. That is D. That's the letter equivalent of D.
Okay. So go there. And another one. Actually, no, I should be here, shouldn't I?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. I think so. So in the live column, I'm going to go in the top, because I haven't done bottom, and then my second random column bet is going to be down there.
If you've just joined us, we are currently playing Dole Leg, Game of Money, a game created for the fictional universe of Ren, the Girl with the Mark. And copies of this game are available as one of the perks in our Indiegogo campaign, which is live now.
Nothing in there, so that means
funding now at the link in the description.
So we got a 3, so that means there's nothing in there, so we haven't won anything? Or I haven't won anything?
If there's nothing in there, so it's a draw. Each player removes their own counters from... Oh, there aren't any. So, yeah, so then it's a draw, and we're on to the next round.
Okay.
But that's basically how it works. So we're now gonna have a look at some behind-the-scenes footage from episode 4, which was Ash M's episode, and maybe we'll play on and see who's bankrupt. But obviously, as the board fills up, it becomes more and more risky to bet in certain squares, and there can be some quite large payouts as well. So good idea to start cheating like Ivan does if you want to win. I just thought of something. By the way, the other thing that's in the description down below, there's a couple of ideas. Is if you're watching this and you want to share our Indiegogo campaign with your friends and family, and please do. We really need your help to get the word out to your own networks. There are a couple of suggested sort of social media posts you can do, or messages you can send down in the description of this video here on YouTube if you don't know what to write. So just a couple of ideas for you down there. Check those out. Okay, let's have a look at some behind the scenes from episode 4.
Hi everyone, it's Ash Finn here, art director for Ren Season 3. Behind me you can see Helgoth. It is 8 o'clock on Friday evening. We are shooting tomorrow morning, call time's at 7. You can see behind me some of the amazing art department volunteers who are just finishing off the last bits and pieces of the town. We're really excited. It's been a lot of effort to get here. It's been 5 long weeks of building. We've had the most amazing group of volunteers and helpers coming through to build this amazing project. We're really excited for the rest of the cast and crew to arrive tomorrow and see it. Hope that they're really going to love it as much as we do. And we will start filming again tomorrow. Bye!
Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
So we've just done a blocking. Everybody's kind of sheltering in the sun where possible. Wonderful supporting actors. They've also been blocked as well. So we're just coming up to just before lunchtime. So we're hoping to get a wide shot of events. I don't know if I can tell you what's happening. So we're just going to say events.
Light pack. Copy that.
Neil, just to say, we will turn over, we will roll. Alex will give me the thumbs up and I'll say action when we go, yeah?
There you go, a little glimpse. Oh, bashing my arm. A little glimpse behind the scenes of Season 3, Episode 4 of Ren, the Girl with the Mark, as directed by Ashram Maharaj, who, can you believe it, is here on the sofa with us tonight. And just before we get into talking about that episode, in the immortal words of Hunter, who's winning?
Ashes.
Probably me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Looks like. Oh, it could be even.
No, you're winning.
No.
I've got 2 of yours and you've got 3 of mine. So.
I will go to you.
Yeah, there you go.
There's a whole bowl of sweets still to play for. So.
Yeah. Fantastic. That's the Dole game, available in the Alathian Travellers kit at the £100 perk level. Looks great. JHGK98 says, could be the game. I think they're probably talking about the behind the scenes footage, and it definitely does look great.
Yeah.
Season 2 ended with Hunter's shocking betrayal of Ren in the Heretics Market. How did you, and this question is for both of you and perhaps even for me as well as a writer, how did we tackle creating an arc for him in Season 3 that would follow on from that?
Well, you originally had an idea. There was a Season 3 script, and we went through it and just thought, okay, we've only been introduced to Hunter Season 1, Season 2, where we don't really know who he is, in essence. So we just see what we see. So what's the reason behind, quote unquote, the betrayal? Is it a betrayal? Is it not a betrayal? Is it actually a betrayal? So it's coming up with that story in terms of, and also paying off some things that were discussed and talked about throughout the 2 seasons. And we thought, okay, this is a good opportunity to tell the story of Hunter. Who is Hunter? Where did he come from? What are his thoughts? How is he like this? So we have 2 episodes to do that this season, and it's just coming up with that story. And some of it was watching Season 2 quite a lot just to see Alex's performance, and also looking at behind the scenes, his thoughts and his feelings about the episodes and how he sees the character, and using some of that. And so it took a while, but it did really come together. And I think episode 4 didn't change as much previously in terms of how it was played. But it's a story I was really excited to do, so hopefully you enjoy it. It really goes into Hunter. He goes through a lot of emotions this season, in his growth.
Because it was just, I think, a scattering of scenes. When I first wrote the draft of Season 3, it was mainly about Ren and the Archivist, and there was actually another storyline as well that's not in there anymore. But there was Hunter scenes were kind of scattered throughout the episodes, and a couple of the key moments were in there, but really fleshed those out, didn't we, into 2 sort of full episodes for him. So obviously, I think people, probably if you're a big enough fan, you've been watching this and you've probably been reading some of the stuff on Patreon, you may have realised that the ruined town you see there in the behind the scenes footage is the infamous Helgoth, mentioned as far back as Season 1. So what, why don't you both talk about the decision process that led to us deciding, oh yeah, we'll build that. Why not?
Well, that is quite a funny story. So, yes, a small behind the scenes fun thing is, I think when we were writing it, I think I put in there sometimes Helgoth subject to budget and such, because it just depends on what we could afford and what we can build, because I had a specific look that I was thinking of, but also I know the reality of filmmaking. So we started looking around to other places. I think we saw one on top of the hill. Was that in Wales somewhere?
There's some quarry somewhere. That we looked at.
Yeah,
would have been a long way to go.
And then I think Neil and I met up for lunch, and I think I floated the idea, and I said, well, it would be nice if we can build a set like Season 1. And then Neil was just like doing like this. And then he was like, I think probably we should. And then obviously we go to Ash, and Ash was like, okay. But as soon as you start thinking about building a set, then you think, okay, this is how we will go for the vision and how we originally thought about it, and the idea I had in mind. Obviously with the town, you think after so many years it looks a certain way, but there's a specific reason why it looks a certain way, which, spoilers, it wouldn't be really talking about yet, but and then Kai originally came up with the original designs, and then Ash took over to build it, and team built everything once we got it outside, and I think if anyone saw the time-lapse video of it being being put together. It was just brilliant. And once we got in there, the first day, it was hot. But I think it added a lot to the look and feel of the location. So when you finally see it, you've seen glimpses of it in some of the behind the scenes now, but in terms of setting up the shots and how it looked, it was going for a specific feel. So, and I guess the weather as well added to it, and it felt like a bit of a Western setting, I guess, at times.
Did, didn't it?
Yeah. But I think Russ was funny. He was like, "Oh, it's going outside, okay." But it does.
Yeah.
Being outside with all the elements and the sun, and it's a beautiful location. You can see really far into the countryside. It does add a lot to it. So yeah, and it's off to Ash and the team. I mean, it's what I wanted essentially. Yeah.
Good.
What was the biggest challenge of building it?
I think Ash has just alluded to one of the biggest challenges, which was moving it. So we had these absolutely amazing pieces of sort of concept art and design that Kaya put together for us, which had these. When Neil originally said, "We think we're going to build Helgoth," and I was thinking like, "Oh, so about this high off the floor, right? Just sort of grassy mounds." And then we saw the designs. And it was so cool. It was such a cool image of these great big tall walls and all this stuff overhead and things that people had to climb over and interact with. And it was really fun to do. And we because it took so long to do because we were building it evenings and weekends. We constructed it inside the grain barn at the farm, which is the same physical space that we built the Heritage Market in last year. Because it gave us a bit more time to put everything together and figure out how we were going to do the stone textures and the paint. The layout of the physical buildings and all that sort of thing. So we did all of that inside, and then knew that we were going to have to transport it outside, and that was going to be a big challenge because we wanted to shoot it not inside. We wanted it out in the landscape in this field that Ash was just speaking about. But obviously by that point we constructed 4 buildings, and somebody at some point went, "Oh, we'll just carry it, be fine." We very quickly realised that was not going to be.
It's very heavy.
It was very heavy, and lifting it, the whole thing was going to go and just collapse. So we had some absolutely incredible help from Mark, who owns the farm, who really, just unbelievable, came in with these huge piece of farm machinery and basically lifted the whole town and carried it out into the field for us. We did it in a single day, more or less, which was just wild. All these people came and helped, and it was just fantastic. So once we then had it in the field, we then had a week to kind of bed it in and finish off all the painting. And there's a well which is in the centre of the town, which was amazingly all built with this kind of stone base that was all mortared together. It was just unbelievable. But yeah, getting out there was I think the biggest challenge, and we were incredibly lucky with the weather. If it had rained, I don't think there would have been much of a town left at the end of it, but thankfully it didn't. We just had sun. So
the weather was an advantage and a disadvantage.
Yeah.
It was pretty good.
It was hot. It was hot, but it saved the town. I think any rain and it would have been gone. So yeah.
Because it looks like it's made out of stone, but it's not made out of stone.
It's not made out of stone. It's made out of polystyrene and hopes. Is mostly what it's made out of, and paint, and probably a lot of squirty glue that holds it together. So, but mainly wishes and prayers. I think is what's holding it together.
So for Ash M, what was it like directing an episode of Ren after having been involved in other capacities with the series for so long?
It's really wonderful. The advantage of it is that I knew the crew, most of the crew, so it was helpful in that way. So everyone knew what I was looking for. The challenge was, I guess, speaking to the actors and just making sure they have what they need to sort of go through the scenes. And but yeah, it was wonderful. I was really tried to create a calm set as much as possible because I know what it's like. It can be like, "Oh, we got to fix this." "Oh, okay, rush. But it was really good, and I hope to do another one because it's such a great experience. So thank you to the cast and crew, and working with Alex as well was pretty cool because it's his episode, and everyone in the episode has a moment. All the characters present, so that was part of my goal to make sure everyone has really nice moments.
And can you drop any hints without giving too much away? Can you drop any hints about the new characters and the new cast in your episode?
So we have Katie Sheridan playing Aluma, a Helgoth rebel, and and John Paul Lado, I think I've got this right. I'm not great with names. Playing her son, and also we had Richard Dodson, who's playing, I'll say, a market denizen.
You haven't seen the last of the market denizens.
You haven't seen. Well, the goal is to see more of the market denizen. We'll see. We shall see. He's got his own story. Everyone's got their own story.
And his own costume full of trinkets.
So,
We never see him.
Yeah. Thanks as well to Hannah. Hannah created this. I gave her loads of reference images, and even though we didn't really see it, as soon as he opens his code, you can see all these different bells and whistles and all these different things, because he's a tradesman, and he goes off to sell off some stuff, and he's part of the market. So yeah, really looking forward. Hopefully we can see him again.
And in the behind-the-scenes footage earlier, we saw a little bit of the tunnel set.
Yeah.
Another challenge for you, Ashfin, a bit of a different challenge. What was that like to do?
Yeah, so the tunnel set was an interesting one. It was kind of the polar opposite to the Helgoth set, and that the Helgoth set had to be massive, and the tunnel set had to be as sort of constrained as possible, because we wanted quite a sort of claustrophobic environment. And it's had to be underground, an underground earth tunnel with a wooden floor that you could shoot up through. Because there's all sorts of things happening with that set. So it essentially needed to have multiple levels to it, and we needed to see it from a lot of different angles and in different sort of periods of history as well. So we see it in different time periods at some point. So yeah, it was a big challenge to try and tie all those bits together. We had, I think it's about 5 different versions of that set that we see in the end. Some of it from above looking down, some of it from below looking up, and different directions and that kind of thing. And the whole thing is again made out of wishes, prayers, and paper mache in this instance. So creating. I had an absolute army of amazing volunteers who came in and helped build that, and they just went into this dark, cramped little space and just stuck bits of paper and glue and sand to the walls for hours and hours and hours on end. It was about 40 degrees in there, and they just absolutely unbelievable effort from so many people to put that together.
I mean, once the lights went in and Neil started putting up the lights, it looked really awesome.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to hopefully seeing the fan reaction to the episode, because it's got a lot of different things happening in it, and hopefully it surprises people at the same time. So it's going to be one of those episodes hopefully everyone enjoys.
Yeah.
And how is the edit going so far?
Pretty good. It's all. I think we're probably over my first director's cut very soon. Yeah. So yeah, we'll go through that, and then I'll probably change something depending. But yeah, pretty much there. Looking forward to you guys seeing it.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it. I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah. I think I've seen the very first version of it. So yeah. Very exciting. Yeah. This is the bit where this is the part of the process where I'm sort of in the background. Really, I just sort of let the directors and the editor get on with what they're doing. So it's always a nice surprise for me as well to see the episodes when they're cut together.
Hopefully as well, because the episodes as Neil mentioned, Ren's got her story and Hunter's got his story. So the goal is that if you watch episode 2, it goes straight into episode 4, and then there's that journey of Hunter that you can see. So hopefully, it's trying to pay all of that off, and everyone brought their game during that period. So looking forward to everything.
Yeah, and we've just started having conversations with the directors of episodes 1, 3, and 5 about the art design for their episodes, and also about how we tell Ren's story consistently across the 3 episodes, which is the challenge of doing a serialized story. Really interesting process. Ilsin on the chat is asking how you decide what to keep in editing.
Oh wow.
Ooh. Well, this is essentially because Neil and I met up beforehand, and I think we created a shot list in terms of how we sort of think. So my vision of it in terms of how it's going to look, and even during that time, I'm editing. So most of the shots are in there, but some things are probably a bit shortened because once you see a first edit, you get a feel for it and you think, okay, so that works pretty well. Maybe we can continue on with that, and then something might change in terms of the cut. Main thing is that it flows great. You can follow the story, and hopefully you enjoy it and you get wrapped up in it. That's the main thing. One of my goals was to imagine you're sitting in the cinema, you're watching this episode, and it's just that experience of just having everything go through, all the emotions of it, sadness, happiness. Hopefully that goes through. But yeah, it can be quite challenging. Some things you might say, okay, well that at this point maybe doesn't work now, but yeah, most of it is still in there. Yeah, I would say probably about 95% of the shots we've done. Yeah,
brilliant. Well, there you go. Episode 304, directed by Ashram Maharaj. Coming soon. All dependent, of course, on this crowdfunding campaign that's running now. We're up to 23 backers, £2,428 sterling. Thank you so much to everyone who has contributed so far. Ilsin's got a follow-up question here. What do you do if you don't agree with other editors? I think I'd want to keep it all.
Yeah. Well, it is also a fun thing of talking to the editor and just discussing. I guess if you discuss your vision, because there is essentially the director's edit, and then it goes off after that. But yeah, I think been pretty good. I think I'll be announced who's editing episode 4.
So Arthur Harrison, who
Harrison's
directed the final episode of season 2, is back for these 2 episodes.
Yeah, he's great. We've had a lot of time together editing it, and then we just discuss it. And I tend to get really passionate about things, so I will always explain why I've got it to him, why it's there, why there's this cut, why there's this thing, and then usually is the case. He's says, yeah, cool, that works, and then also he brings his side of stuff, and I might say, yeah, that probably works. So some things he probably brought as well. But yeah, it's all a team effort at the end of the day, because we're trying to tell a story, and hopefully the audience will enjoy it at the same time. But it's always a team effort to get it out there. That's what we do on Ren.
Absolutely, it is, and I'll be sticking my oar into the process over the coming weeks. And we'll probably do a test screening as well, just to show it to a few people who don't know the script back to front to see what they think, and that always throws up some interesting things that need addressing. But it's a process. I mean, that's why you don't see the season come out a few weeks after we wrap filming. We want to get it right and polish it all up to be the best that it can be. And Elfi, looking back in the chat, says, "Looks so cool in that clip where Hunter jumped in the tunnel."
Cool.
Absolutely did.
Yeah, those are one of the moments I said in terms of featuring characters and making sure the shots feature them real well. So
Fantastic. Well, our Indiegogo campaign is live now, and it is running through to the 1st of December. And by the way, we're at Comic-Con, MCM Comic-Con Birmingham, on the 1st of December, doing an Anatomy of a Web Series panel where we'll be breaking down an episode from season 2. Ash Finn will be joining us for that, another guest as well, and talking about what it takes to create an episode of the series. Other things that are coming up for us very soon are Bilbao Series Land, the Festival of Digital Content in northern Spain. Oriana and Helen Fullerton and I are flying out there on Wednesday. Fingers crossed for some awards from our... we've got 6 nominations.
Wow.
6 nominations at Bilbao. Best Short Series, Best Art and Design, Best Performance for Oriana, Artemisa Woman Creators Award for Kate Madison, Best Showrunner and Best Cinematography. So really going to be fingers firmly crossed to come home with one of their lovely Ochura Wolf trophies.
There's one
there's one up there. Is it in shot? Oh, it's a little bit out of shot, but there is a wolf up there, which is they're really cool trophies. if I can fit it into the extremely stingy free baggage allowance.
Throw out everything else.
Self-I, wow, Comic-Con. And thanks for getting behind us on Patreon, by the way. We do still have a Patreon page. You can join that if you prefer, rather than backing the Indiegogo. Thanks very much for that, Alphi. And we were actually at London Comic-Con the weekend just gone as well. MCM London Comic-Con. Ronin Trainer, our fight choreographer, was running a Ren-themed combat workshop there. So we had some great photos. I wasn't able to go, sadly, but some great photos of people in random cosplay learning to look like they're strangling each other. It's great. Lunaquin says, do you use the same composer for incidental music, or does it vary depending on what you're after? The main theme is lovely. It certainly is. And no, we have, so far to date, we've used entirely one composer, Rob Westwood, the amazing Rob Westwood, who hopefully, fingers crossed, will be back for this season. He's a very busy man, but hopefully he's going to fit us in again to deliver some amazing music, which would be a very key part of, all the episodes, but particularly yours, I think. Ashram.
Music would be very important. It's for particular scenes, and also probably less music depending on how it goes, but very important.
And shout out to Dale Settle as well, who's our fantastic sound designer and sound mixer, who will be getting stuck into designing all the non-musical elements of the Ren soundscape as well in the coming months.
And just to add, Dale was absolutely incredible helper for the art department as well, even though he was sound, and but he basically turned up every single day and helped out, and he and Ross and Michael were just fantastic. Couldn't have done it without you guys.
Absolutely amazing team. So come back our Indiegogo. Go down to the link, claim your perks, and help us get this season finished. The other thing I should say, we've just found this out in the last couple of days, but if you're local, Screen St Ives, which is a local cinema club that shows films every couple of weeks in St Ives Corn Exchange here in Cambridgeshire, they are showing seasons 1 and 2 of Ren on Thursday 28th of November. Doors open 6:30. Film series starts at 7:30, so that's Thursday the 28th of November, St Ives Corn Exchange. The group's called Screen St Ives, so you can find them on Google. Come along if you're local. It's the first time, it will be the first time we've ever shown the 2 seasons together at a screening, so that will be great fun. And I'll be there, and maybe 1 or 2 other cast and crew will come along to say a few words and answer some questions as well, so that'll be good fun. It's about time to wrap up. Remember, down in the description is not just a link to the Indiegogo page, but also a couple of ideas of messages you can post on your own social media, or message to your friends and family to encourage them to get behind us and back the series. Thank you so much to everyone who has joined us tonight. Thank you again to Sherice Griffiths, who joined us earlier. Thank you very much to Ash Finn and Ashram Maharaj joining us on the sofa tonight. And thank you all. Goodbye from the mouth of truth, and hope you get behind us on Indiegogo. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.